We're back with another live edition of the show that covers all the news that we find interesting, but from the perspective of the big bad wolf himself. Yes, this is Ryder's Rasslin review. My name is Jack Kilby, no gimmicks guy, of course, joined always by the big bad wolf himself. Morris is off today. You're looking very, I guess, resplendent is the word.
Am I tropical today?
Very.
I'm in my tropical garden here, feeling fancy. Thank you for noticing.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about, but I think in terms of the weekend, I sat through both nights, 1 and 2, kind of boredom bookended by some interesting stuff. But let's talk here about how now it seems everybody is saying, oh, they knew that the Rollins thing was a work, and they knew that he was going to cash in. One of the interesting things I found today was Dave Meltzer saying that, oh, he knew and everybody knew, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, videos from a couple of weeks ago indicate he wasn't sure. But the one person that called the cash in and the whole deal was you. And here's the proof from about 3 weeks ago.
See, I'm like Kreskin. Why am I not booking this stuff? Listen, as a person that's torn their ACL, I've done this, it's horrific. When an entertainer the caliber of Seth Rollins tears his ACL, he's in surgery the next day. There is no brace on your leg. You're in surgery. You're going to come back quick. So that was the first clue. And also, his knee didn't buckle. I watched it. He bounced up, and it was a beautiful sell. I got to give him credit. It was really well done. Very well done. But the knee didn't buckle. So, that was the first giveaway for me. It just looked like it was a very good finish. Similar to one that I used with Bull James when he went and fought injury. And then we went to the finish. So it was very well done. I got to give Seth credit. He's a superstar. He really is.
What do you think about the criticism that supposedly exists that they were working the boys again, and it was unethical to try and make it seem that it was legit when it wasn't, and it's going to cause problems in the future for real injuries? How do you respond to that sort of commentary?
I think people need to get back to suspending disbelief and enjoy the ride. And stop pretending they're in the business. There's other people that claim that the NFL is scripted, right? And you know what? If it is, I don't care. I'm just going to cheer for the Eagles, and if they win, great. And if Seth Rollins wants the fake injury for a bigger, better angle, awesome. Why do people get so emotionally involved like it seriously affects their lives? It's a TV show, man. Take it for what it's worth.
Well, that's the least of that sort of dynamic we'll talk about in a bit with respect to Brock Lesnar. But let's talk about something that I legit on our group chat when I was watching it, I came close to turning off the entire broadcast, and that was the continued burial of Karrion Kross, Killer Kross. I, for the life of me, do not understand where he has gone awry or why they are pushing the heck out of Sami Zayn.
I don't think anyone's ever going to explain why they're pushing Sami Zayn. He must be a saint. I don't know. Maybe he's the nicest guy in the world, but Killer Kross is a tremendous worker, like all around. He looks the part. He can work. He can talk. Like, the guy's got all the tools to do this. I don't understand whose Cheerios he pissed in, but somebody doesn't see something. And usually when you see that, it's one of the boys at the top burying you. So I don't know who it can be down there.
An interesting tweet on X came from Braun Strowman, or I should say the former Braun Strowman. That was on August 4th, 2025. He said, to the real Killer Cross. You know they don't care about the fans. They care about nepotism, ass kissers, and their buddies. I guess he's done with the company ever coming back, or
Never say never, brother. Never say never. He spelled there wrong, but I'll give him a pass because he's 350 pounds. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I mean, look who they're pushing. They love these little guys. And, you know, Doug Basherman, he'll tell the story. When he went up to OVW to train, you know, they told him it's not like old school anymore. These kids kind of just do what they feel like doing, and they don't listen, you know. So, I don't know. It's a different world, man. I don't know if you know who Johnny Cashmere is. He was part of the original Backseat Boys with Trent Acid.
Yeah, I know Johnny. I spoke to him last week. Yeah.
Okay, well, I just talked to him this week as well. I reunited with the show in Philly, actually, and we had a nice long talk about the business nowadays. And you know, it is not the same industry that I was in. Just not. It's a bunch of kids who I think are spoiled, and I said that would happen as soon as they started paying them $300,000 a year. They don't pay their dues, and they somehow get up there and get all the power. And here's a guy like Killer Cross who went and paid his dues. He was getting pissed on. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will. Shout out to a great athlete and a wrestler who I use several times in my company, Bruiser, Fred Jones. Hope you're doing well, sir. Oh, Morris is watching. Look what he says. Free Palestine, go Sammy.
Palestine. I when Sammy wins the Royal Rumble and then beats Cody Rhodes next year at WrestleMania, that will be the end of WWE. That will kill off the ratings so bad. As if the ratings aren't bad enough.
Speaking of prognostications and knowing the future, they're running some tests about Sammy versus Brock. Have you seen this? Have you seen the shots?
I saw
he is. Yep.
Well,
there he is.
Listen, and if I'm booking that, I would have him just job Brock straight out. Just
this.
Straight out. Yep, there you go.
With his massive physique, putting down Lesnar, putting him out, and then winning the belt. Look at all the fallen bodies. He could call himself "Here Comes the Zane."
Here comes the Zane.
You know, take that gimmick. That's the next step. Apparently, he's Triple H's favorite wrestler, which I don't understand for a guy that was a body guy his entire career. Makes no sense to me.
All right, so here's the thing. Triple H was a body guy, but didn't like guys who had other bodies. He would bury you. He would. I know it for a fact. And he had to have the biggest arms. He had the best eye. If it wasn't him, bury the guy.
Well, it seems like their contract, they're being Killer Cross and Scarlett, their contract is up. So it'll be interesting to see where they end up. But I can't see rehabbing him. He's lost clean straight. And the thing about the SummerSlam match was, first of all, the story was hokey. Second of all, the fact that he was going to use a pipe on Sammy, like he would need a pipe to end Sami Zayn, and then boom, clean, got the kick in the corner, clean pin. I think he's done.
Well, I hope he's not done. And I don't know how you repackage him, send him to a different brand. I don't know what you do with him. I would just let him be himself and drop pipe bombs all day long. But we'll see. We'll see. They should keep him around. The guy's got gold written all over him, but they might have killed him off.
Brutal. Morris is saying he must be a very nice guy. Zayn, nice guys finish last. Ask Finn Balor.
That's possible too. Well, they buried Finn Balor with the rainbow gimmick.
Yes, that's true, and took away that supernatural defensive entrance demon thing or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Balor clubs for everybody.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that upcoming. But what about the other surprise, if you want to call it that, which is Jane Cargill losing to Stratton? A lot of folks are saying that the company is, they're going to smash her over to the women's title, and she lost clean, and they're saying, the Jane Cargill experiment may be over. I think that's a bit premature, but what are your thoughts on it? It would have seemed that if they were pushing her as hard as everybody was saying, she would have won.
I don't think it was that hard of a push. I mean, Queen of the Ring, I mean, it's a push, I guess. But she botches even her pinfall. Like, she leans and falls over backwards every time. just stop doing it. And listen, you can botch. I've botched. I can't criticize anyone for missing a move. But she's not ready for a title. You'd have to put her in there with Charlotte, and put her with Becky. You have to keep putting her on people that had to carry her. It wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't sell any tickets. It wouldn't put any asses in the seats.
Still, it wasn't as it was a passable match, but no disrespect to Ireland's own Becky Lynch. I think she's a tremendous talent. But did you see that god awful 22-minute deal with the Valkyrie there? Did you see that? That seemed longer than War and Peace.
I can tell you I did not watch that. I was very selective when I watched on night 2. Night 1, I watched all day. Night 2, I was, I want to see. Well, I had my prediction.
Well, that was definitely one of the lower lights of the night. But everybody was talking about the main event, Cena versus Cody, in terms of being the redemption for the match that they had at WrestleMania. I guess they dropped the heel turn deal like that. He's a good guy, and they put on a heck of a performance. Some people like Alvarez are even calling it the match of Cena's career. What was your thoughts just on the match?
I thought it was a tremendous match. Listen, say what you want about Cody, but the kid can work. He really is a good worker. He is good. He's got a good look too, but he's getting dull. And I think he's going to turn heel soon, hopefully. But I think it was a really good match. It was done very well. It wasn't like a normal street fight where they were like out in the parking lot. It was done very well. I think when they came up through the stage, it was very dramatic. That was a good showing on both parts.
The only thing missing was Travis Scott.
I've been calling you rid of him for a year. I don't know what took them so long to see what was wrong. As soon as I saw him smoking weed, he would have been fired.
And weighed about 145 pounds, soaking wet, wearing boots. What did you see the jelly roll thing with his role in the tag match? What did you think of that? If you did,
I thought Jelly Roll did an amazing job. I didn't expect him to be great, but I for what he's only been training for a month and a half or 2 months, right? He did a remarkable job. He couldn't have been in there with 3 better guys. And some of the things he took that freaking splash like a champ, and that got 17 million views or something. It's all good things for him and wrestling. How good is Paul? This Paul kid's remarkable.
Yeah, he's all of an athlete.
That's it. He is one of the most athletic guys up there. He should be a world champion someday.
Yeah, for sure.
If anybody should win the Royal Rumble, it should be him.
For sure. He's got, for a guy who came out of nowhere on YouTube, he certainly has the athleticism, the character, and the ability to talk. Man, he provides a lot of viral moments, so to speak.
And you know what else about that kid? He doesn't need to do this. He's a legit billionaire. He owns Prime. He only do it because he loves it. So I got to give the kid respect.
Absolutely, the polar opposite of Travis Scott. Hopefully, he's done for good. And with McIntyre burying him a couple weeks ago or a week ago, I think that's pretty much the way that it is. But what a footnote. Then, of course, I guess it was the singular moment of both nights that everybody's talking about, the return of the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. He certainly did not look any worse for wear. He's been gone for about 2 years. coming back to have I guess a program with Cena. Did the very slow, methodical walk down, stared at him in the ring, ducks a clothesline, F5, and then all the tears and whining started on the internet to even even going on today. Some of the most ridiculous commentary that I've read, it just so out of left field. Apparently, they made the deal a couple of weeks ago that it was fine for Brock to come back. Triple H said on the post show that it was largely related to the fact that Cena wanted to work with him as part of his retirement tour, and then Janelle Grant's legal team made a statement basically saying that fire and brimstone is going to befall the TKO because of the information that is forthcoming with respect to the McMahon lawsuit. So I just don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to make of it.
I don't. What are they going to come out with that anyone would care about? What are they going to say? No one cares. These crazy people on the internet, maybe they care, but no human being who's not an NPC cares if Brock Lesnar sent a text message to a girl. No one cares. And no one cares if Vince was cheating on his wife because he had permission. So I don't know what their big secret is that they think they're going to come out with. Turns out that billionaires, right, like to sleep with young girls. This is South Park did a whole episode of this, didn't they? What are they talking about here? And to attack Brock Lesnar over this, it's outrageous. The girl's lawyers. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, as Morris says, pretty sure a company like TKO knows he will be fine. Like they'll have the ultimate scoop, but Triple H has no balls. That was one of the comments that some folks were making on the internet, in that they canceled those horrendous post pay-per-view press conferences. One reason being the Rollins deal night one, and then the second one, night two, being Lesnar's return. The experts are saying that they really haven't tackled it head on. What is there to tackle?
Nothing. It's just this is a whole case of some spoiled girl who thought Vince was going to give her $3 million, and he only gave her $1 million, and she's mad about it. And this is just as bad as these women that said Harvey Weinstein, well, he promised me movie roles and didn't deliver, so now it's rape. Well, had he put you in Batman, would it be rape? Oh, no, then it wouldn't be rape. This is all a lie. It's all so stupid. You didn't give me what I want, so now I'm going to cry rape and sexual assault. It's absolutely ludicrous. These women should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, I find it interesting that we appear, since the fall of last year, to be in well, I'll say in America, we appear to be in a post cancel culture sort of deal, and some people are just hanging on to that like you would not believe, and it really exposes just how when you make that point about the lawsuit. My goodness, if they would have had more on Lesnar aside from him sexting or requesting some homemade OnlyFans from her, I'm sure it would have come out by now. Morris is saying Triple H should have manned up and defended his decision. I would agree with that. Just tell them to jam it.
Yeah, well, maybe he will. We'll see what he does. He was probably advised what to say by the attorneys. Don't say anything. It's the best thing to say. So Lesnar's a great guy. If you've ever had the pleasure of meeting him, he's a good dude. He really is a country boy. He doesn't want anybody bothering him. He doesn't bother anybody. And there's only one perfect person in history, and they don't work in WWE or anywhere else on it, I see. So if you're going to throw stones, don't live in a glass house, right?
Right, and I got to put Brock over for being an honorary Canadian. He lives out in the wilds of Saskatchewan, which is one of the coldest provinces. We're talking minus 40 in the winter. So he's a tough, simple dude.
Might be an American again very soon. That whole
very
province.
Good. That's Alberta, but that's another story. The push is in Alberta, but we'll see. Unfortunately, WWE has announced that Gunther is out indefinitely due to this is interesting how they're positioning this injury suffered in the SummerSlam main event. Michael Cole said that he'll be out of action for the foreseeable future after hitting his head on the commentary table during Saturday's match. Cole stated that he suffered a subdural hematoma and an orbital blowout fracture. However, Meltzer stated that he required surgery on his nose, and he said the spot in the match where Gunther hit the announce table was included to make it look like the injury occurred then. Of course, that's classic wrestling parlance. Cole didn't mention the surgery on his nose during the Raw broadcast, but man, that guy's one of the under 40 bright spots, along with Paul. What did you think of the title match with CM Punk?
I thought Gunther he's got star written all over him, doesn't he? He's unbelievable. He's an old school throwback. He would succeed in any era, like any era. And he's a once in a generation talent. Think how hard he's been a champion almost his entire career in WWE. So he's never had a break. He's just been going for 4 years now. He's been there. He's been a champion like 90% of the time. So he's out for a break, and it's well earned. If he needs to get his nose fixed, I can understand that. And
Morris is saying that he should ask dashing Cody Rhodes for a mask to protect the nose. Maybe he'll come back with that gimmick. But what did you think about CM Punk in that match? I'll tell you, I got to be honest with you. I thought and you would know this better than I, of course, but he appeared to be gassed out after 8-9 minutes. It appeared unusually sluggish to me. Was that your take on it too?
I thought he was moving a little slower than he used to, but he was still moving well. He said he's pushing 50, right? So I don't care how often you work out. Eventually, Father Time wins, and you're just going to slow down. There's nothing you can do about it. But I think he did a great match. I didn't think it was bad. I thought he did a great job. He took a shitload of chops. I think Gunther beat the hell. I think it was done very well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The table spot was the right thing to do there, and it made it look like Gunther screwed himself. You know what I mean? So it worked out well.
Mm-hmm.
It was done very well. When he had the title in his hands, and you can see, I was happy for him. You can see the pure joy in his face when he was holding on to that title.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even though it was like last 5 minutes, but it was a nice moment for him. He's a good guy, Punk.
Yeah, I thought the critics were a little harsh on that match. I found it entertaining, and then the end with the cash in. All the people that said that it was predictable. I think they were wrong. I still thought, no matter whether you want to say that everybody was calling it ahead of time, which they clearly weren't, it was still a dramatic, entertaining moment.
What I did notice about the match, and I hate to pick on him, right? CM Punk is a multimillionaire at this point. I noticed he has no back teeth. And I'm trying to how a man with all that money has no back teeth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know all his teeth.
That's a new development, isn't it?
I don't know. I just noticed it.
Morris is saying Punk has clearly turned into the ultimate team player in WWE now. Nice to see he will get a longer run at some point. I agree. I think they're just scratching the surface with him and Gunther, and Morris has the info why he has no back teeth. It's all the Pepsi, of course.
It might be all the Pepsi. Come put
the
your
Pepsi plunge.
Come on now. He's a good-looking guy. You maintained it this long. Don't let your teeth fall out. That's my biggest. My biggest pet peeve is people letting their teeth go to shit. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, it also impacts health, generally speaking. now this is kind of an aside because I should explain why you've got Mr. AJ owes me an apology. First, I want to ask you about what do you think of that match with Dominic Mysterio? You'll probably say that the right guy won. What he's announcing that he's going to retire after this year too. What do you think they have in store for him coming up? And maybe explain the one of the screenshots advertising this program was a couple of you wrestling AJ in the Nashville Fairgrounds. Looked like a hell of a match. You got the jump on him at the start, etc. I wish the full clip was available. I haven't found it yet. But what do you mean by he owes you an apology?
If you watch that clip, we jump-started the match. So that was me coming down from up north. AJ lost the title the week before. So they brought me in, and we sat in the back, did the match, and I said, if we just lock up, that's not going to make sense. I'm going to try and kill you. So that was the start of the match. I'm just here to beat the crap out of you. Because if I go easy on you, have a match with you, 50-50, you look like shit. So the jump start was I run over and I start putting the boots to him. And I didn't hit him. But after the match, he went in the back crying that I kicked him in the head when he slid in the ring. But I never saw the match. I could never vindicate myself until you found it today. And now I'm vindicated that I did not kick him in the head at all.
Strange. We'll have to look for the rest of that match. But do you see AJ getting a run to end his illustrious career? Some of the best work, man, in TNA ever. Big fan of his TNA stuff. Basically made that company. Do you see him getting an IC run or something?
I was disappointed when he ran in the back and did that. We did talk the following week when I worked the Naturals about it. I made fun of him for it. But I would think he'll probably have a match with Cena because they're buddies. I would think him and Cena will tie up. And I'd like to see him go out at WrestleMania winning the Intercontinental title or something, you know? If he's going to retire, and go, but he's not going to retire. They're all lying. The only one who's not lying is John Cena.
True.
He will retire, and then he will come back somewhere else. They always do.
Saudi Arabia, right? When maybe to face Sammy after Sammy beats like 50 guys in one night, and he gets the strap. Yeah.
He's going to get pull number 1 in the Rumble, and it's going to do straight like Brock Lesnar, eliminated 14 in a row. Sammy's going to eliminate 29.
All over the top rope with that massive physique.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm sorry, I just don't get it, and I'm bitter about it because I'm a big Chili Cross fan.
Bruce Pritchard saying, "Let's put Sammy over" in anything. I'm floored by this, and I hate this guy, but I don't understand what I'm watching.
That's a world champion right there. Come on,
Bruce Pritchard's a body guy. I don't understand.
I don't think anybody understands. Before we go on to the next story, I also put a screenshot. You know, you were wrestling AJ Styles in one of the screenshots. From the other perspective, I had the pleasure of watching you facing a rather rotund Honky Tonk Man. Was that in Trenton, New Jersey?
I wrestled Honky Tonk a few times. I wrestled him in New Jersey on the beach.
That's the one.
I wrestled him in a fire hall in Delaware. And the match in Delaware was one of the most fun matches I've ever had. Because we went out there and just whatever we felt like doing. In the middle of it, Tom Brady's Salvatore Sincere came out and hit me in the face with a pie for no reason at all. So, like, it just is so stupid. But we had a wonderful time. He just walked out. I think it was a cake. He got me with a cake. I don't know where he got the cake from. He's still kidding. Wrestling Honky Tonk Man is one of the most fun things you ever do. And Wayne Ferris is a wonderful human being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the channels out there put up a clip that I hadn't seen before last November of you and Wayne sitting in the back discussing your match, and it looked to be an entertaining affair.
There was a special moment there with me and Honky Tonk because I don't know if I told you guys this. the first time I ever watched professional wrestling. I turned on the TV. It was Saturday night's main event. And the Honky Tonk Man was on TV. And he was bitching and complaining about how this Ultimate Warrior ran down in 30 seconds and stole his title and beat him up in 30 seconds. And I'm thinking, wow, this Ultimate Warrior must be the man. And there goes Honky Tonk to the ring, and out comes the Warrior. And I'm thinking, oh my God, here comes the Warrior running out. I'm like, he's my guy. This guy's awesome. And years later, I realized it wasn't Ultimate Warrior that pulled me in. It was Honky Tonk Man. So he's the reason I became obsessed with wrestling. And I told him that. And he gave me a big hug, like he really appreciated it. But it took me that long to realize that he was the guy that pulled me into wrestling. Him and Jimmy Hart.
And in my opinion, the best shoot interview of all time. I absolutely love when Wayne was still drinking and he would go in on everyone and everything. You know, he'd have that Gatorade bottle gimmick with the vodka in it. My goodness, that was hilarious stuff. The stuff he did for I guess it was RF Video and Sean Oliver kayfabe commentaries. My goodness, were those hilarious. Love it.
He's a ball of knowledge and a ball of comedy. I would have loved to seen him and King Kong Bundy in the same room. I never had the pleasure of that one, but those two must have been unbelievable together.
They had heat, right?
I don't know if they did or not. Probably. I mean, Bundy would create heat just for comedy reasons, but they're both hilarious. I can only imagine what that would be like.
Mm-hmm. Well, Meltzer provided some information about the heel turn that we talked about earlier from Cena and why it was dropped. And he said, candidly, they dropped it because it sucked, but also because John wanted a Lesnar program and basically that he wrestles better as a babyface than a heel. Which suggests why the logistics of that turn on SmackDown, a little strange, because traditionally it would happen during the match or after the loss or something like that. But on a whole, you know, people were saying this is going to be the greatest heel turn of all time, you know, eclipsing Hollywood Hogan at the Bash at the Beach, blah, blah, blah. Certainly didn't turn out that way. I don't think that was Cena's fault. I think they had really no idea how to pull it off, or maybe they couldn't pull it off because he's the ultimate babyface. What are your thoughts on the turn in totality?
I don't think he wanted to turn heel. When you turn heel, you gotta want to do it and enjoy it. I don't think he liked it, and I don't think it was a bad heel run, but it certainly wasn't Hollywood Hogan heel turn. It's probably 5 years too late because that was too old, right? You know, God bless him, he's in great shape, but he didn't have the support with it. And he came out with the same music. He didn't change anything. And they kept cheering for him. You know, so what are you going to do? You keep running this train to the ground? Are you going to ruin wrestling? It wasn't even a good heel turn. Like, I don't even know what I was talking about.
Yeah, some of the most clunky promos trying to blame the audience, that never really worked.
He's not a very good heel. And that's a shame that they kind of tarnished his legacy with him.
Absolutely. A guy that I know you have a lot of regard for, and I saw last year put on one heck of a ladder match in AEW with Sammy Guevara against Taven and Bennett. He just won the TNT title over in AEW at the age of, I think he's 57, and had to relinquish it. Goldust, Dustin Rhodes saying, he needs very invasive surgery, and he had to relinquish the title. It'd be out indefinitely, but the actual nature of the surgery wasn't known until late today. Before we went to air, he tweeted and said that he has to have both knees replaced. They can't be repaired. They're basically done. Do you think this will be the end of Dustin's in-ring career? And that's a hell of a shame because, man, he's still had a lot to offer.
Well, I mean, that's a tough surgery. You're gonna be a year rehabbing, right? I mean, at least I would think. and then you really want to come back to this and risk tearing something in there. I would say he's probably done there, but he can go be office, and he'll be a hell of an agent, so he'll still make a living. And if he can't make a living over in AEW, I'm pretty sure his brother can find a spot for him over in WWE. Mm-hmm. So he'll be fine. And he was always cool with me. I always liked Dustin Rhodes. I never had a problem with him or his wife. She was great. Marlena was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definite Hall of Famer. Wish him all the best. Now for a little bit of comedy. The next story is Tony Khan explaining why he hasn't launched an AEW women's tag division. I'll just read you what he has said. Apparently, the women's division in AEW is getting more and more fanfare, and fans around the world have been asking when, the question that's been on their minds for a long time, when will there be a set of tag team championships for the female roster? And here's what Tony revealed. He said, I have a bunch of people I would like to get involved in a women's tag team, wait for it, tournament, potentially. There's been so much injury in the women's division, and as the person who put together the women's casino gauntlet, I wish that we had come out of it healthier. So a quarter of the people in the match got knocked out of the match and out of action indefinitely. So we had one match where I lost 25% of the female roster in one match. You're connected in the industry still? Do you hear that that demand for a tag team, a women's tag team division in AEW? Is that something that people are saying on the inside is going to make a lot of money? Where is this coming from too?
I can't imagine that's coming from anywhere except the women that were in the gauntlet match. And if you had 25% of them getting hurt in one match. They are putting untrained people in the ring and expecting different results. He should be ashamed of himself, seriously, for even suggesting that they would have this stupid belt thing. The girls there are deplorably bad. They're not good. You get a couple girls there that came from WWE. Saraya was there, and she didn't like anybody there because they were obnoxious, so she left. But who's really there that can work? I couldn't tell you. The only girl there that can work is the blonde. What's her name? Timeless Tony Storm.
Timeless Tony Storm. Yeah.
The only one. And she's amazing.
And Sasha Banks is there.
And Sasha Banks can work, but no one should ever hire her. Did she make a stupid statement about Brock Lesnar the other night? Yeah, isn't her cousin the rapper? What's his name?
Snoop Dogg.
So her cousin is Snoop Dogg, who writes a bunch of songs called "Women Hoes and Whores." But Brock Lesnar should be canceled, according to Monet, because he texted Janelle Grant. But her cousin is Snoop Dogg. This is a woman who runs around. She's the enlightened one. She's an idiot.
She has about 15 belts, too. Have you seen that? She's not the biggest individual. The belts are going to, pretty soon, the belts are just going to weigh her down like this. She's literally got about 8 or 9 belts. I think it's way overkill.
You think that maybe she has a bit of an ego problem?
Absolutely. I think you're right about the women's division there. Even speaking about the ROH division there, and I had the pleasure of interviewing Davey Richards, the American Wolf, last night. What a great guy. Talked a lot about ROH and the AEW version. For some reason, they put the uber green women on the ROH roster. And the matches that I saw last year, ROH women's division, it was, and again, I need to be critical, but there's no way those talents are ready for TV.
No, it's just they're not even ready for dark matches. And their attitudes, from what I'm told, are deplorable. Well, I've had other guys. Low-key's been at shows with them. He said they were just unbearable. You can't have. You're not a superstar. You didn't earn anything. You got put on a bad TV show, put into a spotlight. Somebody told you you're a star. Jim Cornette. I called myself a professional wrestler one time, and he went, "You're not a professional wrestler until somebody tells you you are." Okay. I understand. And he told everybody that. You're not until we tell you are. And then eventually they told us we were. Those girls aren't earning anything, and they're doing them a disservice putting them on TV.
Yeah, I can't see that coming together anytime soon. I certainly would not be watching any of it. Morris wants another story that we're going to talk about. Shout out to the 5 Irish competitors out of 60 who attended the WWE ID camp this weekend. Apparently, they were doing great things, and Ireland continues to be a hotbed for professional wrestling, just churning out talent. The kind of situation that we had here in Canada years ago, but don't really anymore. Did you happen to see any of the coverage of the Irish talent?
I saw a little bit of it. I was proud of them. I was impressed by the way they set it up for the tryout. Was nice. And I actually talked to Gangrel. I was at his school yesterday, and it was all about.
Yeah.
All they wanted was footwork. They wanted to see your footwork, and if you got blown up, that's what they were checking for. But that's what they were looking for. That was how they were. That was the number one grade, was your footwork, and if you got blown up. So
makes sense.
How they did.
Makes sense.
Terrible. They're falling all over the place, but that's what they were looking for, was footwork.
And you can speak to that, which must have been very difficult for yourself, being a guy who's 6'3" and about 265, 270 when you're working. The cardio that you require in the ring is completely different than the cardio that you can do on a treadmill, bike, or whatnot. That's something that you have to get your reps in to get down, correct?
Really do. You really do. And there is a thing called in-ring shape. Like if you're out of the ring, like I went back into the ring not too long ago over here with Gangrel, and I was so blown up I was going to puke. So, and I said, well, I'm going to come here a few times a week. I want to get my wind back. It'll come back, but it's going to take time. I actually took a bump yesterday for the first time.
A flat back?
A flat back.
Wow.
Terrifying.
Wow. Good for you. Good for you.
It was good for me or not.
Well, we have a lot of things going on with the Kingpin Angel Medina's last great run tour, and we're going to be talking about some dates, and I'm sure we'll have discussions about what that could entail. So stay tuned to the channel for that. Ash is asking you, do you see WrestleMania 42 Brock Lesnar versus Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman involved? That would be one heck of a main event, would it not?
That would be a great main event, and that would be the guy you would want Braun Breaker to get a rub off of. That would absolutely be the rub. But Lesnar's going to want a title on the line for that one. So if he's going to win a belt breaker, that would be the guy.
Yeah, it looked like after the opening match of night 1, that great. I enjoyed that tag match, even though Uso was involved in it. I thought that was a good throwback old school tag match. It looked like Breaker may have tweaked his ankle or knee or something, but apparently he's okay.
Yeah, he tweaked his ankle. That happens. What are you going to do? You step wrong, you step in a low spot in the ring, or just jumping out of the ring, it can happen to you. The mat's outside, getting rolled up. Sometimes you step on an ankle. Yeah, he'll be okay. He's a tough son of a bitch. He played football. He'll be all right. He's a Steiner. But how good kid with the tsunami? I love the tsunami, and now the shoes. What do they call it? The Shula Falala?
Yeah, I can't pronounce it, but that's it. Yeah, that's great stuff.
Oh, that's good.
They came up with that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they're a good pairing. They're starting to grow on me. Apparently, they're calling the stable, unfortunately, because Seth Rollins, one of his 10,000 monikers was the Visionary. They're going to call it the Vision.
Well, probably have a trademark. Probably why.
That's what they're doing. I think they should have called it the Dangerous Alliance. Even I think that would have been better, but too old school, I guess.
Crockett or somebody owns that. I would bet that's
somebody. Plus, Heyman says that he always likes to move forward as opposed to back.
Which is true. He does.
Before we talk about the last story, with Morris not here, I thought I'd throw in a plug. His next big-time independent wrestling event, the Halloween Bash of 2025, is coming up for No Limit Wrestling Sunday, October 19th at the Castle Comer Community Hall. I'm hearing, even though this is a ways out yet, the tickets are going really fast. Contact Morris and he can provide you with the tickets or other information to purchase it electronically. He's definitely positioning himself not only to be a man of the people and a extremely successful future Prime Minister of Ireland, but he could be the next Vince McMahon. What do you think?
Could be the next Vince McMahon. Could be the next Hornswoggle over there. I may go to that show. We're going to take a trip over there. I might. Maybe you'll get a Big Bad Wolf appearance on that one.
That would be incredible. You could go in and do a power bomb or something of it. What about your finisher? Do you think you can do your finisher still?
Which one? My airborne virus? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do the airborne virus. I thought I dropped the guy in that yesterday in practice out of the blue. That's
incredible. I've been watching your tape, and a lot of the footage that I saw. It amazed me how freaking fast and agile you were for a man of, or maybe still are, for a man of your size. You move like a cruiserweight, really.
Gymnastics my whole life. I was a gymnast when I was a little kid. Terrible gymnast. My brother Wyatt was a state champion gymnast. He was the man. He was going to the Olympics and everything else. But I was just a terrible gymnast. But I'm telling you, you get into that when you're young, you can move. That's why a lot of football players go to gymnastics, because they can move better. So
wow.
Like I can jump. Billy Gunn and Shelton Benjamin could out jump me, but I don't think anybody else in WWE could have.
Yeah, it actually shocked me, because you didn't in a lot of the tape, especially the stuff from ECWA and whatnot. You didn't wrestle like a big man per se. You're just all over the place. So yeah, good stuff.
Well, you adapt to your surroundings where you're at. You know what I mean? And I think that was a detriment to me, that I could do a lot of that. I probably shouldn't have done as much of that. I probably should have just stuck to the basics, like Sergeant Slaughter would tell me to do when I would get out of the ring. But it's fun doing that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Ash is reminding me of something. The memoir of Karrion Kross, Life is Fighting, is out today. That's something I'm going to pick up for sure. I think that guy, again, fascinating individual, and I'm sure he has some unique content in that book.
I'm sure he does. He's a great guy. How old is Kross now? 30, in his mid-30s, right?
No, they were saying he's 40 now, and basically they were saying that, probably correctly, that the time to push him and make something, do something with him was now, but doesn't seem we're getting that. That's
a shame. Maybe we will.
Who knows how it turns out? Perhaps he'll go to AEW and revolutionize it, but that's aside from the paycheck.
They brought back R-Truth and done nothing with him.
True.
I don't know why.
Maybe just to quell the internet that they were complaining about his firing or contract end so much. Who knows?
Right.
The last story is interesting. It's Bret Hart, a man who is a national hero up here. I know Bret's number one fan is Jake Walker, who provides a lot of the administrative support for this channel, lines up a lot of interviews. Huge Bret Hart fan, but the man really knows how to hold a grudge. He indicated on an interview on something called the Ringer Wrestling Show following the passing of Hulk that Hogan is a bullshitter and a roadblock. And he said that Hogan became his enemy the moment he won the WWE Championship in 1992 and actively held him down in WCW. You'll remember Brett has talked about how the SummerSlam spot with Yokozuna was supposed to be Brett against Hogan, and supposed to go on, and then Hogan quelled it. And I'll read you some quotes here. It's actually worth going into. He says, while acknowledging Hogan's massive footprint on the business, he contrasted him with other legends who helped elevate the next generation. And he said, WrestleMania 8, when I fought Roddy Piper was one of the guys that reached down and pulled me up to his level. Piper made me and contributed to the next generation, Hart said. But there were a lot of wrestlers that didn't do that. Hulk Hogan never did that for anybody. He never pulled up anyone else. Jake Roberts never did anything for anyone else. He only did for Jake Roberts, so he's getting a shot in against Jake there too. I look at Jake Roberts and I look at Hulk Hogan as just two guys never lost, ever lost. He always got his hand raised. He said that about Jake too, which wasn't true. But anyway, and then he said, I always thought the day I won the belt that Hogan would come up and pat me on the back and tell me how glad he was that I was the guy to pick up, pull the sword out of the stone for him. And, unfortunately, that's not how it was. The second I won the belt, I was the enemy. I had what he wanted, and we were never really friends ever again. He goes on to talk about WCW. He put roadblocks in front of him, and he says, quote, and made sure, and I know this for a fact, he made sure that when I was in WCW, he made sure that they didn't do anything with me, like don't do anything with him. Just leave him, let him sit on the bench. WCW would fly me in, first class, blah, 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 first class, everything. And when I got to the building, they tell me I was off and I just fly home. He was asked finally to describe Hogan's personality, didn't mince words. As per usual, he said, when I was a little kid, you go to elementary school and there's always some kids that are bullshitters. That just tell bullshit and are just classic. That's just the way they are. He explained, I think Hulk Hogan was a bullshitter. My God, is Brett bitter?
Brett's bitter. Listen, is he wrong? I don't know. I wasn't there. I'd never heard of Hogan really burying somebody. I've never heard of Jake burying anybody. I've seen Jake lay down for an awful lot of people. I mean, he elevated Rick Martel, he elevated Warrior, he elevated pretty much everybody. So did Hogan. Sometimes I feel like that people held me back too, but I can't say for sure. Who knows? Brett's a 7-time world champion. He's a multi-millionaire. Who held him back? Who held me back?
Hogan.
7-time champion, bro. What are you talking about? You're one of the most recognized names in the industry. He held you back? All I saw was the Hart Foundation on TV for 20 years. So you went to WCW, which was a bad move. You could have stayed and kept the same push, but you wanted more money, and Vince couldn't afford you. So the only reason he went to WCW was because of his own damn fault. Because then he stayed with WWE, he would have still been rich and probably would have had the belt 2 or 3 more times. So you can blame it on Hogan or you can blame it on yourself. I choose to look in the mirror when shit like that happens to me and find the real problem, because it's usually right in front of you. Bret Hart made the decision to go. Vince didn't want him to go, and Vince actually made the deal for him with WCW. So Hogan had
Bret.
Yeah, Bret screwed Bret. And then, he knew going that Hogan had creative control. Do you think Hogan was going to drop the belt to him and just get rid of the whole NWO angle? What's he talking about? And what planet does that make any sense? You couldn't have been more hot than Hogan during that era. Who was hotter than Hogan? Austin? That's about it. Right? Mm-hmm. It's about it. Who sold more shirts? Austin or NWO? I don't know. I don't know how anybody can figure that one out. But it certainly wasn't Bret Hart. Mm-hmm. So take your millions of dollars and stop complaining. It's embarrassing.
It's one thing though when Bret goes on about Bill Goldberg and that never-ending animosity, but I was disappointed when I read that, because Hogan's gone, and we talked about this last week about the folks that are burying Hogan about this, that, and the other thing. I was kind of shocked to that Bret would go out of his way to make those comments when Hogan's passed. I thought he would it's like you always say, when somebody's gone, when somebody's dead, so dies the heat. But I guess not with Brett. That's got to be a very nasty headspace to have.
It appears to be. I mean, he's holding a grudge. I mean, I guess he feels that way. And certainly, got nothing against Bret Hart. I mean, Bret Hart, for God's sake. I don't think Bret ever got over his brother's death. I think he's still angry about that, and he probably takes a lot of anger on other people. Listen, Hogan. Listen, everyone knows that Hulk Hogan could tell tall tales. It doesn't make him a bad guy. He's still a good guy, right? So he's just mad that he didn't get the Hogan spot, but he knew going in he wasn't getting the Hogan spot. How are you going to get that spot? You got creative control. What are you doing?
Yeah, I just don't understand what there is to gain going on about that now, because like you said, he's a multi millionaire and certainly didn't suffer too badly. Morris is saying there would be no Brett without Hulk Hogan, brother.
You're right. He's right. There wouldn't be. There wouldn't be a J.R. Ryder without Hulk Hogan. You would have had hockey time, man. You wouldn't have had anything. So,
just as a programming note, one of the interviews we're close to putting together for this channel is with Bret Hart's ex-wife, Julie, who was immortalized in Wrestling with Shadows. She has agreed to an interview. We're just trying to hit the date, so that'll be interesting to get her perspective on living through those years in that very situation when if you watch, depending on how much you think of it's a shoot, it was a very stressful time period, that exit from that lead up to the exit from WWF.
I still think it was a work.
You and Scott Hall.
I still think it was a work. And I don't know why they haven't come out now and said it's a work. I still think it was a work.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's Scott Hall, and when he first dropped that on Dark Side of the Ring, the one episode on the Montreal Screwjob said that, and a lot of people were appalled. But as the years have gone on since then, more appear to give it some credence.
Well, I mean, I would take Undertaker's word on. I don't think he would bullshit anybody. He said it wasn't a work, but it's still wrestling.
And he still did okay.
I think Brett should just put his feet back and chill out, man. Life ain't that big. He's on his third wife, so who's the real problem, Brett?
There you go.
Because so is Hulk Hogan, so I guess what am I going to say there?
Well, again, it's a question of taste, and I personally wouldn't have gone there, but what do you do? He's obviously harboring resentment, and that's not healthy. So he should enjoy his millions. Before we shut down this edition, what do you have going on in the Sunshine State? I know you're talking about getting back into the ring, shaking that rust off. Could we see a return to action for Mr. Ryder?
You may see a few matches coming up here. I'm not going to say yes yet. I've been going over to Gangrel School, Coastal Championship Wrestling down here. I've been over their school a few times and gotten in the ring, and I'm feeling pretty good. So there's a very good chance in a few months I'll have some dates for you. And I mean it. I might go to Ireland and wrestle on the show there in October. That might be a good time.
Well, that certainly is exciting news, and one that I think we talk about giving back. Davey Richards said that last night that I think we've lost Mr. Ryder. Oh no. You're back.
Am I back? There I am.
Yeah, you went dark for a second, but now you're back. I'll make this short. Davey Richards talked about giving back to the industry and helping the young people. I'm sure you would be a welcome presence in any locker room.
No, I appreciate that. It's fun. I really do enjoy going there and training them and teaching them, and I'm a big footwork guy too. So that's what I was beating them all up on all week last week when I went to CCW, and lo and behold, that's what they were looking for up at the WWE tryout. So I might be old, but I still know my stuff, I think.
And who knows, we could have one last great run up in the Fed where you take on the mighty Sami Zayn. Now you'll have to do the job, but at least you could say you shared the ring with such a legend, an unstoppable.
The great Zayn, yes. I'm going to make him shave first. He's got to at least shave his chest.
I'm sure he has creative control, but it'll be interesting if the big bad wolf took on Sami and would experience the here comes the Zayn. That's it for this edition of Ryder's Wrestling Review, folks. Stay tuned to the channel and be sure to catch next week's episode. Hopefully Morris will be back. He was here virtually, but in person, where we run down all the interesting news to us. Thanks again. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Cheap Heat Productions. Don't forget to hit the notification button and you won't miss any of our upcoming interviews, recurring programs,